Welcome to Treasure TV 6. And it's a pleasure to have the great woman of God in Toronto, Canada. Some of you may have known her, been blessed by her ministry. Her name is Pastor Bola, Pastor Bola Musia. I don't want to mispronounce your last name, so please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Pastor Jerry. So
Yes.
I'm balanced. So again,
Yes.
this is our second time we're doing this, and we thank God for the responses we got for the first one.
Right.
So that's Pastor Jerry there, and today we're talking about discovery of purpose. And the reason why this topic is so important for every single one of us is because we find joy. The fulfillment comes when we're doing what we're originally made to do, God's intention for us. And there is so much joy in doing God's intention for us. And that is why all of us have to actually know what we've been called to do. So when I'm talking about called to do, it's not ministry. So it's your profession, it's your business, it's in every area of life that you have to do something. You need to actually know what God has actually called you to do so that you don't waste your time or your years doing somebody else's thing, because there's actually no reward. No matter how much we work doing somebody else's thing, there's no single reward for it.
Right.
You only have reward for what God has called you to do. And just like Jeremiah 1:5 says that before we were formed, God knew us. He ordained you to be whatever He wanted us to be.
Right.
So before the foundations of the earth, He made us. He has given us everything that we need for life and godliness.
Right.
So everything is already embedded in you.
Right.
So all you have to do is actually go into the manufacturer's script. Because God is our author, is our maker, is our creator, and you can't find anything outside of His will or outside of His word. His word actually contains everything you need to know about yourself. It contains everything God has put in you, and you will have to actually find it out. Search the book of the Lord. And I pray that we will be blessed as we just share a bit of experiences and just help us, guide us through ways that we have come to understand what God has called us to do, and the things that we have done, the things that didn't work.
Yeah.
So those things that we tried to figure out on our own. Then now coming back to the manufacturer's manual.
Right.
So Lord, what is it that you want me to do?
Thank you so much. I like the title of the discussion today, Discovery of Purpose. Unfortunately, these things were not taught in schools that we attended. Nobody talked about
Nobody taught us that.
discovery of purpose.
Mhm.
They just trained us to graduate, get good jobs, make money, and that's it. But you see in the world today, frustration, like you said earlier, you were talking about fulfillment. So that means what you are saying or what you are implying is the discovery of purpose brings fulfillment. Am I correct?
Definitely.
Okay, let's just to help our audience, I'd like you to expatiate a little bit or expound on what purpose is. What is purpose?
What is purpose?
Yes. What is purpose?
I believe that purpose is what you were created to do.
Okay.
So short form of it, it's what you were created to do, what you were born to do.
So,
actually, what comes for you naturally.
Yes. So that means what you're saying is that what was in the mind of the maker
from the beginning,
before he made you. Okay. So, for instance, if as a man, I'm created to be a man, but a man to do something specifically. And you as a lady, you're created to be a lady with a specific intent in mind. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, the second question would be, how does one discover purpose? Where do we look for it? Where do we go shopping for it? Where do we find it? Because like we mentioned earlier, they were not taught in schools, and they are not being taught right now either. There are lots of books about how to succeed, and I think most of it is geared toward a financial success. There are a few good ones that has to do with the discovery of potentials within, but potentials and purpose they're not the same thing.
Not at all.
Okay, so could you speak to that, please?
When I think the second Samuel, I'm going to tell you, when David, when they were Ziklag, and they were, I think it's the Amorites or the Moabites that came to attack him. And I love the fact that David did one thing. He didn't just go and start pursuing. He said, bring me the ephod.
All right.
To know what God is saying. What is God saying about this situation? Am I supposed to just stay? Am I supposed to go and attack? Am I supposed to, so when he prayed, the Lord said, pursue. Pursue. And it's so important for us to know as Christians. So again, we talked about staying in God's presence, to know the mind of God. And it is not all of us that will hear, thus says the Lord. Or there are times these things just come by intuition. These things just come by some things that will be deeply impressed in our hearts, to do.
Right.
So some say, but I'm not hearing God. So how am I supposed to know my purpose? But then you sit down, you see what comes for you naturally that you don't have to struggle to do.
That's right.
So what comes for you naturally? What do you see yourself doing without having to invest millions or billions that you can actually just easily tap into?
Right.
The Bible says that we have, again, this treasure and everything goes, and we come against out of our belly shall flow rivers of living water. So already we have these rivers in us, and we actually need to activate them to flow because they are just there, right? And maybe for me, I would say that I heard, and for somebody else, it might be different.
Yes.
So I think they're just different
ways of discovering purpose. I can see from your personal life, several times when we have chatted, you have said things several times about, I want to wait on the Lord. I want to hear what He's telling me. Could that be the reason why you always are so keen on waiting on the Lord to hear from Him? Because you want to hear from the manufacturer, the maker, the designer of purpose? I
think for me, it is very important for me to hear. Maybe why it is so important at this point is because, when I was younger, I knew at the age of 14. And afterwards, several people told me, and I'll get in the car, and the own pastor, they would just say, "But do you know you're calling to me?" I said, "Yes, I know." "Do you know?" I said, "Yes, I know." So I knew. But again, when the issue of my marriage happened and everything, I had to go back to actually discover myself again. Because at that point, I had lost, everything God said. I was like, I'm not sure this will happen again. So I had to go back to rediscover myself. Okay, God, are you still saying this? Knowing well that He doesn't change His mind anyway. Whatever He says, He's committed to His word. His words will not go unfulfilled. He has said it, and it's. But then you come to that point that you're vulnerable because of situation and circumstances, and you begin to just doubt purpose. So for me, I think I knew, but I got to that point that I doubted. So because of things happening, so it was so important for me to get back to hear Him again, saying, this hasn't changed. This is still the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the way you talked about it, and you're also getting very personal. So that is, it helps. Viewers, we would like you to send in your questions and comments so that as we discuss and we learn from each other, our goal here is to help you find your purpose. As Pastor Bola has just said, she has found hers. I have been privileged to find mine. Now it's your turn to find yours. So when we come back again, we're going to take a short break. And as we come back again, we're looking forward to your comments and questions. Thank you.